Now that we are officially just a few days away from the next Tarkov wipe, it is time to start mentally preparing for all the joy, anxiety, and just overall emotional rollercoaster that comes with a fresh wipe in Tarkov. For you guys, I just wanted to give a little wipe day tips video where I go over some of the do's and don'ts for the beginning of a wipe to get you started off on the right foot. So strap in and let's get into the video. First and foremost, because this wipe is relatively short compared to what we've seen in the past few years, it is important to start the wipe off strong in order to accomplish whatever your goals are for this wipe. In order to do that, the first thing that I recommend that all players do is get a scav junk box as soon as possible. The very first thing that I buy on a fresh wipe is a scav junk box. This case will save you a ton of room in your stash so that you can hoard as much loot as you want. In fact, I recommend grabbing at least 2 to 4 of these. That way you can store things that are needed for quests, daily quests, or keep items that are worth more later on during the wipe cycle, like water filters or hideout upgrade items. Trust me, this is a game changer for early wipe. Now I know what you're thinking. If we are supposed to hoard everything, how can we sell things to make money to afford a scav junk box? Well, for that, my next piece of advice that I recommend is only sell weapon parts and gear. I know that might be tempting to sell some valuable items to make some money, but in most cases, you will need those later down the line for a quest or a hideout upgrade. So, instead, keep those and sell gear and weapons that you get from other players and scavs. These weapons are basically going to be stock, and they're not really going to have much value for you early on in the wipe, but make sure that you turn that into a profit instead of selling something that you have to look for later on. Next piece of advice that I can give for people who have never experienced a fresh wipe before is don't run around and expect the game to be like late wipe. Now I know that this can sound a little confusing for those players who don't play throughout the entirety of a wipe, but what I mean is the game is a lot more populated and there are going to be players everywhere. You will fight people in the strangest locations on the map and find yourself in a constant battle just to extract. This is completely different from late wipe Tarkov, where the game has become stale and a lot of players stop playing to play other games, so the servers are very empty. This means that late wipe, most people are more confident moving around and looking for PvP because there's a lot less danger throughout the raid. But if you don't adjust to that and you try to keep the same thing early on, you will get punished for it, and you won't be having that great of a start to the wipe. Just keep in mind that slowing down your playstyle for the first couple of weeks or even a month will be extremely beneficial to you. Even doing something like walking more frequently than running will save your life more times than you would imagine, just because you'll be able to hear other players stomping around before they hear you. So slow down and be extra cautious traversing through your raids. The last piece of advice that I want to give might shock a lot of you, and that is, don't think that just because you killed a player, that means you have to loot them. I know, it can be very tempting to want to jump on a body right after you've killed that player, but you need to assess the risk versus reward first. In most cases, there really is no need to loot other players unless you are in a secure area and you don't already have a full bag. The reality of early wipe is that looting players will get you killed more often than it will benefit you. The gear that other players are using most of the time won't be that great, and it's not going to be something that you will want to take with you over most items that you find throughout your raid anyway. The only thing that you probably will want to loot is their backpack, and that is just because they could have some quest items that you want and need, but that is not always a guarantee. And if you already have a pretty full backpack, you are probably better off just leaving that body for the scavs and get out of the raid in one piece. The longer that you stick around after a fight, the more players that will be flocking to you, and the higher the chance of you dying becomes. So all I'm asking is that before you assume that you need to loot your kills, just think about whether or not it's worth it in the grand scheme of things. But those were just some quick tips I thought about, and I wanted to get this video uploaded before the wipe happens. But that's all I have for you in today's video, so don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you're excited for this wipe. Consider following me on my other social media if you want to stay up to date. Links are always going to be down in the description below. Thank you all again for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Peace out.